we're starting. Come on. Touch portal. Work. Hey, I've been playing Factorio for 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. And I keep talking about it to a lot of people. And so what I thought I would do, for those of you who don't know what Factorio is, this is a kind of a 2D top-down, 3D kind of thing, but it's all about factories and automation. Scenario: you've crashed on a planet and you got to launch a satellite out, and you beat the game, right? There's opposition, there's alien bugs, as you see here. I don't play with those because it's just a big pain for me. So I just like to play it. I just like to build factories and have fun with things. So that's what we're going to do. And there's a demo for this. If you go to Steam, type in Factorio, there is a demo that you can play to kind of get your head wrapped around it. But for mods, there's a ton of mods for this game that I'm going to be playing the vanilla version for the most part here. I am going to add aircraft because a little bit later on you can zoom around a little bit. Blueprint, flip and turns. Just lets you take your blueprints and kind of flip them around. Bottleneck will show me which facilities are having issues, which I really don't have, right? I don't really use that a whole lot. Chest auto sort, this works sometimes. So when I open a chest, it's going to auto sort those things for me. Just kind of handy in the beginning. Disco science is just for the lab. So when you're researching science, it's going to show different lights. That's kind of fun. Factorio library, that's the game. Factorio factory search, you can search your factory to find specific things. Faster start, this is a big thing. I really don't like spending a lot of time running around at the very beginning to do stuff and manually placing. So this is going to give us fast legs and some robots to start off with. Long reach is going to let us reach across the screen to get some things. Train network is going to let us use our train in a super smart capacity, which I've never even really used this. Maybe we'll play around with it. Max rate calculator, something that I've never really used this. Maybe we'll play around with it. Megabot start, that's the same thing as faster starter. Starter kit with a small modular fusion, night vision, exoskeleton, roboports. That's the one I use. Start the power, personal roboports, portable fusion batteries, gives Factorio 2. Let's just uncheck that for funsies, because we're not playing with the Bob's Warfare. We're not playing with Bob's mods or Factorio. Let's just stick with faster start. Remote configuration lets us kind of set some things from clear across the screen or the map. Squeak through is really good because it lets you squeak through things you normally couldn't, such as pipes. Certain pipes you'd have to go all the way around. I don't like that, so we're going to do squeak through. Trash chest is kind of handy because it creates a chest that you can stamp down, and anything you dump into it just is deleted. It's kind of handy, especially when you're clearing trees. You get so much wood that you just don't need. Tree x-ray is going to kind of let us, as we run through trees, it's supposed to kind of like make the trees disappear, so you can kind of see better where you are. Waterfall lets us build water, so you can dig a well anywhere you want to. It's kind of fun. Sometimes it's just handy. It's just fun stuff. And then zoom's going to let us like way zoom out on the map. So those are the basic mods that I use. It might seem a little daunting at first, but it's fun. It's for fun. I want to confirm these changes. Oops, going to restart. I'm chatting with some friends. Okay, so we got the terrain, or the resources. Give me everything, make it far away so it's not like all in my face. And then big sizes, big richness. So I don't like moving my resource patches. Okay, terrain. We got water, we got trees. I'm going to turn off cliffs. just because I don't want to have to deal with that. Enemies, I don't want to see any bugs. And then I don't really care about pollution. Everything else, I'm just going to leave normal. So this is almost as vanilla as you can get. And so you've got a map seed here that you can exchange with friends. You can choose a random seed. You can also preview where you're going to be. And that's going to be fine to start off with. We'll probably start right here. And then we've got some iron. We've got all the resources that we need and plenty of water to pull in for steam. If I don't like that, I can just hit random seed and see what else I get. I don't like that. Too much water. Too much water. Too much water. Ooh. Yeah, you can sit here and just go through seed after seed to try and find your perfect starter. Let's just do this one. I like to go left and right. I don't know why. And then you hit play. And so you're gonna crash land. Oh no, we're gonna crash. Our poor ship. Oh no. I can hit tab to get out of there. Okay, so we got a lot going on. We got a map. We have our hot bars at the bottom. We got buttons for copy, paste, blueprints. So we'll get into that. And then your personage over here. A couple of things we're going to do right off the bat is we are going to... Oh. We're going to open... Nope. We're going to open my notepad, and there's a couple of commands. If you hit the tilde button, which is to the left of your number 1, this first command is going to increase our worker bot speed to modifier 10, which we don't have any at the moment. And then we're going to add those next, and I'll add these into the comments of this video if I remember. So what that done now, if I hit E and look at my inventory, I've got some extra things. It's gonna make me do it again. Sometimes you gotta do it twice. Frustrating. All right, got some issues with the mods loading correctly. But if you right click down here on your suit, now you'll see all these things. But I gotta run my things again. Give me the equipment because I started a new map. That should give me, should have given me, gosh dang it. There we go. Because I want some faster legs. So if I right click this, it's going to show me some different things here. I don't need energy shields because I'm not playing with biters. I'm going to add those. Let's take one of these away. I should be able to add, dang it. There we go. And all the batteries. So I've got 2 portable fusion reactors. I got 4 legs. I got tons of batteries, and I can hold a bunch of robots. It's going to give me 50 and 50, but I already have 50. So let's go ahead and add another 50, this command. And that should give me 100 total. And that's just so I can move a little faster and have some robots. So if I come down here to deconstruct, first of all, let's go into 0. I'm going to hit a deconstruct planner. I'm going to add that to my toolbar. If I right click it, then I can add filters. I really want this trees and rocks. So what this is going to do is anytime I drag over any area, it's going to highlight the trees and rocks, and then my robots are just going to go get rid of them. So some people might think it's a little cheaty. I don't care. Don't want to spend 1,000 hours getting to robots. I just want to get going. So what I'm doing, I'm just holding right click to get rid of these scratched parts. You get some parts out of it, some resources, which is fine. We'll kind of go over that here in a second. Okay, so we have some resources. We've got some coal. Got some iron. We got some copper. And we also have stone and some uranium ore, which we're not going to need anytime soon. So I want to get rid of these trees because I need to start getting into this copper ore. Took too much, but that's okay. We will use the wood at the beginning. The controls are a little bit different. So E gets you into your character, your inventory, and your crafting. We got lots of things that we can craft. So just right click on this a few times. Give us a bunch of those. We're going to need some chests. And you can see in your inventory, you have a burner. And so this is really not ideal. Let's put that here. So this is a drill. Burner drill, and we need to feed it some fuel. So we're going to click into it. I'm going to control click and just feed it a whole stack of wood, and it's going to start mining some iron ore and kind of hold some in itself. And then what we want to do is we want to output on that yellow triangle into a stone furnace, and we're going to control click and add a bunch of there. And so if you hit Alt, it's going to show you what that's producing. There's lots of little tips and tricks in here. So this is now automatically, so instead of me doing this by myself, what we're doing is we're setting up some automation to automatically mine it, smelt it, and then I can just come by, shift left click, and grab all the plates. Now I got 15 plates. And that is exactly what we want to have happen, because I need all of those made. Get some stone. It's a real slow start. Did I not? Here we go. Let's add some binoculars so we can see in the dark. Like I said, it's a real slow start, but we definitely need to get going. And then what we can do in the meantime while that's going is come out here and get some more rocks and some trees, get some robots going. Really need that stone. Plus, we're going to clear this out so that we can use this. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, another iron ore patch right here. Okay. Yeah, we're just cleaning up because we're going to have to build here. Ooh. Plus, we need a lot of furnaces to start. And it's like any game, you get used to the controls. That wood. Now, I'm not real happy with the size of this stone patch. This is kind of a rough start. We're going to have to go spread out real quick. You can hit Q to copy as a real handy. Just Q to copy it, and we can also put down ghost. There's a setting for that, so that as soon as something is available, my robots will go put it right down. Okay, so now we have 5, and those are just going to go and start smelting. We still need more. Because, oh, that's just a funky pattern. I only need about 4 of those to get us going. There we go. robots are gonna put them out. I'm gonna fill them up. So we need copper and we need a lot more of these. Make 3 more. And another one. Just start making a bunch of these. Okay, so what we have is, let's just fill these, get them going. So if you control and then left click, you'll pick up whatever's in there. If I right click, I pick up half, I believe. Yeah. All right, let's make 5 more of those. One's gonna go here. Shift click to cancel all those being made. And anytime you know, it's like any game, as soon as you start playing it, you're going to get better. It's going to suck for a while because you don't know what you're doing. Let's make a bunch more of those. So this is a fun little thing. So what these are going to do is these are going to, and you hit R to rotate. And if I put some coal in there, it's going to dig up some coal and pass it into the next burner drill. Get some coal and pass it along and daisy chain it all the way down to here. Right? These are just going to go fill each other up, and then I can come in and just collect the extras because we're going to need a lot of coal at the beginning. Okay, we've got coal, we've got some copper, some iron plates. Now we can start making some actual things. And let's make some more of these. It's 10 more of those. Burner drills. I don't have any wood because I used it all. So we'll come get some more wood. And this might be excessive, you think, to get this much wood, but we're going to use it. We are definitely going to use it. So you notice I can be crafting things while I'm out running around, which is super handy. We'll use this water here in a second. In fact, what we can do is I have a blueprint. We'll get into blueprints later. Now that I have some wood and some copper, you see we can make some power poles. We'll start making some power poles. Feed all these guys some coal. Get this. Pick these up. Pick all this up. This is always a frustration for me. What do I want to do first? We're going to need some well, we need power, right? So we're going to need some inserters. Now these are burner inserters, so they'll take resources, and that's fine. We'll make some bent pipes, and then we'll make some pipes. It's just fine. Right now we're just manually crafting a bunch of this stuff. The idea will be to get a mall built to where we can have our factory build all these things for us, and then we just come by and pick up what we need. So we're making some bent pipes and some straight pipes, and that's to pass fluid along. We're going to need 1 offshore pump, and let's go 5 of those. Right click on that, and then I need a bunch of more of those. Get some more of that going. It does, like I said, it takes a little bit when you start because you're having to manually do a bunch of this stuff. And so there's a better way to see what do we have. So we have these hot bars down here, and I have 4 open, which you can do, and you can adjust those if you go into settings. I think it's interface. You can say, hey, how many active quick bars do I want to have? 4. And here's where I did the pick ghost item if there are no available. That's a fun little thing to have. So if I click on this box, it's going to pop up all of the available recipes that I have right now. So I want to put transport belts there. And then over here, I want to put inserters, and I always put my electric poles down here. There's a reason for this. And then I want to put some of these other things that I'm going to make down here in bar 2 so that I can see easily what I have in my inventory for those things that I'm making. That way I don't have to constantly be opening up my inventory and finding them. I can just look, right? I got some poles. We need some. Got 5 of those. Each boiler can feed 2 steam engines. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how that math works. Then for here, let's put this down. So I can have a temporary place to see my burner inserters. That's fine. Got 50 poles. And then let's make some iron chests. Just do all of those. And I think what I want to do here for funsies is just go ahead and add another 7 of those. Just so I can get a bunch going. Now we'll use all this stuff here pretty soon. Okay, so pick up all that. Fill these, fill those, pick those up. Cool. So one thing, we're going to need some electric mining drills. Let's just go ahead and make all 9 of those. So we have coal, and then we have some water here. So what we want to do is take our offshore pump, and when we have it selected, it's going to highlight all the areas that we can plonk this down. Let's plonk it here. And then I have in my blueprints book a super quick recipe. Oops, where's my blueprint? Hit B. And then I'm going to go to my early game book, and then I'm going to pick just this simple right here. Just line it up like that. Can't because there's water there and there. It's fine. So I'm going to stamp that down. My robots are just going to go to town and throw everything that I have down at it. Let's add all of those. And I've lined this up so that the pump, so that the pump will line up. It's kind of nice. I like to have things organized, right? Okay, we've got our pipes, and then I'm just going to click and drag. So now you can see that it's picking up water, but not the fish. It's picking up water, and it's placing that water inside of our boiler. And if I hover over here on the right-hand side, I can see that it's got 200 of 200 water. So it's full, this is full, and this will feed quite a bit. But I've got this set up so that the boiler intakes the water, and we need to feed it some coal. And as you can see, it's going to start boiling, and it's going to pass that along. And now our steam is going to be it's going to start being generated, but it's not actually going to work until you hook it up to something. So I'll take this pole and then you can just click and drag. Click. If I hold that and run, it's going to automatically just place down a pole at its maximum length that it can place a pole. We'll just drag a bunch out there. I got a bunch. You can always make more, right? Get all these iron plates. And so now what we want to do is automatically feed this coal into our boilers. In order to do that, we're going to have to make some belts. You have to make a lot of belts. Right? Robots are going to put it down. And so let's go ahead here with these electric miners, which are going to use electricity. And let's just add, I think I can do this if I get out of the way. And then we're going to run some belts in between here. And we need some power poles. Oops. Control X to cut. Let's move it up one notch. So I can use power and power. And add some power there. There we go. Everything's connected. So now the electricity from the steam engines, the boilers, you can see them now. They're producing steam and running. I click on a power pole. I can see the production. Usually it's like 1 minute. So I can see here's much power we are using and need. And here's much we can produce. So 360 kilowatts. We can produce right now 3 megawatts, 3.5 megawatts. So we are looking good. Now I need to continue to run this. It's a cue to pick it up. We're just going to run this right over. I have to make some more. Make 180, please. It's going to use all of my iron. I really don't need any copper right now, so I'm not going to pick any of that up. I will take this, please. This iron. So you can see the yellow belts, which is your first tier belts, moving product along quite speedily. 15 items per second. Which is, if you hover over this, it'll tell you at the bottom of that little pop tooltip, 15 items per second, which isn't great, but hey, we got to start somewhere, right? And then we just got to let our belts be made. Now I did this intentionally to give ourselves some space. I can hit B to go back into my blueprints and pick this again. And if I stamp this down right there, it's going to just keep adding along. Steam engines and boilers. It's going to keep stamping that down as long as I want. Okay. So we've ghosted these images. That means we're telling our robots or yourself, hey, here's how I want this laid out. And when you have the products available, robots go stick them where they need to go. And then we have to make some more poles too. Make some more power poles. So my robots are putting down randomly wherever they can and want to. They're just adding those belt parts down. Now I can bypass them and just stamp it down myself. But you'll get to a point where there's just so much going on with these blueprints that you just want somebody else to do the work. So there we go. We have power coming in. Our electric miners are picking up the coal. They're coming down here, passing them on to the belts. And then these inserters here, if we watch these, are going to pick up some coal for themselves so they can run. And then they're going to start passing along that coal into the boilers, and we're going to have a lot more power. Now we're making 7.2 megawatts. And we're going. We're having fun. Okay, so while that's running and while those are working, we really can't do a whole lot with what we got going on right now because we don't have any buildings that we can automate any processes. So if you hit T, you go into your technology tree, and the first one we want to unlock is this automation. And this is going to give us a building in which we can pass in products and tell it what to make, and then it'll output those products. It's going to take 10 seconds each for red science. It takes 10 red science. So we want to start that, even though we can't make anything just yet. I want to start that. And then I want to also build a research lab. And we'll give that time in my queue to build all that up. And there's not a whole lot we can do until we get that done. The other thing I can do is manually make those science packs. For now. So I'm going to right click twice. It's going to give me 5 and 5. That's 10. That's going to satisfy our needs. And then I also want to stamp this down and dump in some of this stuff I don't need into that chest. And I'll just hold it. Come down here, get some more iron plates and some coal. Then you have to feed that coal back into your things. It's fine. Okay, so we have our power poles. Let's run over here and let our robots fill in the spaces. Just for fun. 291 belts. Okay, so now we have our lab, and I'm just going to put it right here for now. You'll notice when I have something selected, see that little blue area around the poles? That tells you the power of area of power. So if I put it down here, it's not going to get any power to this lab. It has to be touching the blue. So let's just put it there. And then I can click and drag and just copy those into there if I want, or there's 100 other ways we can do that. One of those ways is to put down a chest. One thing we haven't made yet is any inserters, so we're going to do those. You can see the inserter recipe calls for iron plates, iron gears, and an electrical circuit. If we come over here at intermediate products, we can see that iron gears taking 2 iron plates. And then I also need iron plate and a copper coil. A copper coil needs copper. So there's lots of sub parts that you will automatically build for that, which is fine. So we're going to stamp that down, and this is the same thing. I need to be powered. And now I can just dump all these items in that chest. The inserter is going to pick out whatever's in that chest and feed it into here if it can. Usually holds about 2 or 3 science packs per lab. But you can see here that we're going to have 7 total science packs. So that'll be fun. So as that's burning, you can see it's running red. We can see our automation in the upper right. We're at 68%, 70. We're having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, do I have any more? I don't have any more. And that should, you know what? Let's make a couple more anyway. By ourselves. Oops, not all of that. Yeah, if you click on the left space, an empty space, it just copies everything. Okay, it's blinking. It tells it it's done. Now if we hit E, we've got a couple of things here. We just gotten long inserters, and now we have assembly machines. I'm gonna make about 20 of those right now. And 10 of those, 10 of those, 10 of those, because long inserters use regular inserters as part of their recipe. Now this isn't working because I don't have any new recipes selected to go and start doing. This is the next one I want to do, which is going to give us some underground belts and some splitters so that we can modify our belts. Takes 20 red science packs. And let's get rid of that. And let's add our assembly machine to that. So now as we craft and make these things, our assembly machine, or we'll be able to see it real quick. Like I said, it takes, the beginning of this takes a little bit to get going. Takes a bit to get going. So let me just cut to the next part. All right, so let some of the buildings come up. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our assembly machine 1, and we're going to stamp it down. I like it here. And you can see it's empty. It doesn't have anything going on. So if I click on it again, we can tell it what we want it to make. And I want it to make science packs. Now it's set up to make science packs. And we're going to output those science packs because the arrow on our inserter is pointing left into the chest. But you can see that our science pack needs copper plates and iron gears. Well, we're going to need another machine assigned to make those iron gears, and we're just going to pass those gears right into here. Done. And now for now, we're going to have to manually give each one of these parts or these machines the extra resources they need. Now you can see we're blinking here. It's saying, hey, I don't have any power. So we will give it some power. Got some power poles. So this needs iron plates. We're just going to go shift, add some iron plates, and it's going to stick them in, and it's going to make the gears, and it's going to pass the gears into our assembly machine. And this needs some copper. Got a couple of stacks of copper. So now we have a machine and a process automated somewhat to make science packs for us, and it's going to keep making these indefinitely until either this chest fills up or it runs out of resources. So that's something else that we got to think about, is adding resources. But now we're getting to a point where, like, I don't want to keep going back and forth and filling up chests to do this. I want this to be automated. All right, I want this to be 100% automated. Let's add a couple more chests down here, and let's dump in all. If you shift, or if you control click on an item, it'll move all of those products of a type. So let's kind of get rid of some of this stuff. We have 61. Let's add those back in. Let's make all of those chests or stone burners. We will use them all. It is not a problem. So now we don't have to worry so much about that. We just have to make sure that we have a bunch of product in here. I say product, I mean resources, or intermediate products in here to keep this going for a long time. Like I said, this is just going to keep going as long as we got plates feeding the machines will keep making things until this chest is full or it runs out, right? And so with that, what we can do is we come back in here to our technology tree, and we're already doing logistics. But let's say I want to do some extra things. Let's say I want some lights. Let's start that research and queue it up. And then after that, that costs 30. This costs 50. It's going to give us steel and steel chests. Let's go ahead and do, what is this? Electronics. And that's going to give us access to fast inserters and a bunch of other things. So we'll just start queuing up a few things. And then that's fine. I really don't use military. Let's do it anyway. It's only 10. And then our trash can chest. Let's do that. And then you can kind of forget about it. All right, let's go do other things. So now that we have the process of set up here, I want to talk about blueprints real quickly, because blueprints in this game are key to quick expansion, automation, quick builds. Getting over a cold or something. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to click this blueprint, or you can hit Alt B, and we're going to click. So now we have this little blue box on our cursor. I'm going to click and drag this little area, all the parts that I want to be a part of my blueprint. And so here's what the blueprint looks like. We can give it a name. Starting Red Science. And, you know, we can assign it icons. Let's give it the icon of Red Science. Then we'll get rid of those, right? And we can give it a description if we want to. We can snap it to the grid and all kinds of things. But then I want to just create that blueprint, and then I'm going to stick it in my inventory so that I have it. If, let's say I want to do it again. So then I pick that blueprint, I click and I stamp it down. And if I have all the parts, the robots just go stamp it down. Well, I don't have that yet. So if I make another one, the robots will go ahead and stamp that down too. But you can see here, now all I have to do is feed it some plates. If I want to, I can Control X now that I have that down. That's a cut. And then my robots will pick it up. I hit R to rotate my blueprint. Because I have that mod, I can hit Control X or Shift X, and it's going to flip it this way. So now I can just kind of hover over there, and I can use that same chest, or the same chest, and supply both of these lines. Now I'm going to make, now I've just doubled my science production, my red science. So a little bit of tweaking going on there, a lot of flipping, a little bit of turning, but hey, we just doubled science. That's great. Now it's going to go and do it twice as fast. So now that we kind of have a grasp on blueprints, to some degree, we're going to stamp down some other blueprints because I want to start automating this stuff real quick. And I think I'm going to come over here to the right. And if I go into my blueprints, I have in my malls section a starter base. And I'm not going to be snapping to grid on this map. I just want to play. Just want to get stuff going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of come up here, and I know how this goes in my brain. So I'm going to shift and stamp. And so this places down that ghost image that we talked about. And if I have the parts, my robots are just going to go feed and place down the items in those locations. Now, this is going to take a time to build. But that's fine because ain't nothing quick about this game. To make some dirt and fill that in. Now what I can do is hit Control Z to undo. My robots will then go take it away, and we're going to do it again. So if I hit malls, here's my base. Let's make sure everything is in. It's not in the water. Let's put it right there. And now my bots are, now you can just let your bots go to work. That's another benefit to having robots right away. Otherwise, I would be manually hand putting each one of these buildings and everything in the right location, which is probably what you want to do at the very beginning. If you're new to the game and starting out, you want to do a lot of that stuff. Start building those mental processes. How would I flip this? How would I do that? I've played this game almost 2,000 hours. So we're just going to stamp it down. But you can see I've already got some buildings for science already set up. We've got some parts that I need to hand make a lot of this stuff. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just keep building this. I'm not going to do any more research because I think we have all of the parts that we need. Now, down here, we also have our tool, our bar. And here's why I left some space so that I can add in my undergrounds and my splitters. And let's add lights right there. And I think that's pretty much all that's new. So I'm not going to do any more research after this stuff gets queued up. I'm just going to let that ride, but I'm going to build all this stuff out and then we're going to come back. I'm going to get rid of these roboports. So I don't know if I'm going to use roboports in this build. So we're going to have to adjust some of these blueprints for like pure, more vanilla, more vanilla, and use robots kind of sparingly or for certain processes, and then use trains for a lot of it. Let's check our power. Power's doing good. This is what I focus on when I look at my power. We're using this tiny bit of our total amount that we can produce. And then you can break down and say, well, what's using all my power? Well, I got machines, I got inserters use power, drills, stuff's using power. You can also hit P to see your production, to see what you're making. So we are, we're mining. Here's our coal. We know that's electric. So we're mining about 196 a minute. And over here is our consumption. So we're using half of that, which is fine. I want to produce more by far than what I'm using. If you get into an opposite where you're using more than you're producing, then you're going to run out of power. The whole thing shuts down. So that might be a good place to stop for this video. Just kind of getting things set up. We're going to have auto miners mining all this stuff. We can start stamping that stuff down. If I hit blueprint, hit my early game. Let's just go with our basic blueprints for miner. And the direction, let's cut all of these power poles. Robots, go to work. Here's another thing you got to be real careful of. If a drill is set here, it's kind of got a green area of effect, which is probably not showing up real good at night here on YouTube. But you got to be real careful because you don't want to start sucking up stone and trying to smelt that, and then you're going to start making bricks. So we have to be very careful about, especially here, because this is kind of together. We need to be real careful about where we put, where we put these, because I don't want any stone in my pickups. Let's put it there. That'll be fine. We don't use a ton of, let's just put it there. We don't use a ton of that. Copper, we're going to use iron so much that we're just gonna need a bunch of it. So let's start this up here. We gotta make a decision. There we go. And then we're also gonna need some coal on this end. You know what? Let's just go ahead and stamp that down. And then this one we're gonna flip the other way. Yep, let's just do it there. Got to make a decision. And we can kind of ghost those in. It's kind of nice to have the ghosting down so you can kind of see what you got going on. So these are all going to feed into our process over here and automatically make a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna kill this episode here. And when we come back, I'm going to have all this stuff built. You don't want to sit and watch me handcraft a bunch of these things. So we'll come back and we'll have this going. And, you know, my robots are I'm going to pick things up out of here. and my robots are automatically going to stamp down and fill all this stuff out. But this is what a mall would look like, right? So this is the starter base is we're going to input raw resources, coal, copper, and then this is going to be iron plates, and then this is going to be steel when we get to it. And so those are going to automatically be made, and they're going to come on these belts, and then these machines are going to automatically pick up what they need and then fill in these boxes. So this right here is going to make iron chests, and it's going to output those into this chest. And then so I can come back here anytime and pick up a bunch of iron chests. And the same thing for belts. This is just going to make belts. So that I can come to this chest and pick up a whole bunch of belts and just keep going and go shopping for what I need, pick it up, go build, come back to the mall, get what I need, so on and so forth. Now, a lot of these, some of these are empty because I haven't unlocked those in the research yet. And that's fine. Let's clear out all of the trees and the rocks so we can see what we're doing. Oops, sorry. So that's how we're going to go. I might actually modify this so that I have 2 iron plates. I find that I'm just always out of iron plates. Anyway, it's meant to start you out. It's meant to just, hey, let's get things going. Let's get a mall, and from there we can expand and build and do things. So when we cut back, I will have all this done. Well, next episode.